All right, so what would you want your avatar to look like? Because I feel like you can't have a silly ass name like Goose and then have like a super serious looking like avatar. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like a deadpan kind of looking avatar is like what like suits you.
Okay. So, I mean, I've got a lot of options, first off. So I don't know why you're just trying to keep me bogged down to goose.
I'm
What?
not. You said that's what you would go by.
I was saying if we were doing anonymous fake names, that's what I would go by. That I think that's a solid one. But I could do another one. I could see myself being the drizzle as
No,
well.
absolutely the fuck not. You're
Why
not gonna be the fucking drizzle.
why couldn't I be? Well, tell me right now why I couldn't be the drizzle.
It's too stupid.
It's not too stupid because all I do is pour it on, okay? It's just a
Oh my
drizzle.
god. I because in no conversation that we're having am I gonna call you drizzle.
No, you wouldn't. You would call me the drizzle.
I wouldn't
So
call you that either.
this is crazy. This is what I want to be called.
You just put that out there on the spot. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So you
okay,
like Goose more?
I like Goose more than the drizzle.
I don't know. This is a huge turning point in my life, and I kind of feel like you're forcing me to go by a name. This is crazy.
I'm not forcing you to go by any name. I'm just saying not that one.
You really think it's that bad, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Who doesn't like Aqua Teen Hunger Force though? You know what I mean?
Probably like a lot of people that would be watching this because like they're too young to have seen it.
Well, then they'll go back to it. They'll be, oh my god, and then I'll have shown them a complete gem.
Or we'll get sued by Cartoon Network.
They'll probably send us a letter thanking us. Would be my guess.
You're very optimistic about that.
I'm an optimistic guy. I don't know what to tell you.
Sometimes to your own detriment.
Yeah, maybe. But what you said, what would I like my avatar to look like?
Yeah, like what would you want it to look like?
I would say like me. You know what? You know what pisses me off? I really don't like this. This actually really bothers me.
Does it really grind your gears?
It actually does. When people have avatars and they're like wildly better looking than them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean that's like kind of the point though.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean cuz if we're going to like go by looks, then yours would just be a rat.
It would be a rat. You're just saying I look like a complete rat.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I
told you that in confidence.
know. Yeah,
I, t- I
I
I literally told you that like 2 hours ago, and you're already weaponizing it
It's
against me.
not the
This is
first time
crazy.
we've had this conversation. It's not my
Yeah, but you have
fault.
ADHD.
You
I
look.
expected you to forget.
Yeah, but I
I
didn't.
thought that was the first, the first air
How can I
quotes time I told
forget?
you.
I have to look at your face every day and it's rat like.
Oh my god. I don't know. This whole thing might be a bad idea now that I'm thinking about it.
Why is it a bad idea?
I
Because you look
just
like a rat?
No, I look first off, I look like a good-looking rat though, is the thing. Like not
Like the hot rat from The Secret of Men?
maybe not that hot. I've heard a lot of women talk about that rat. So maybe not that good looking of a rat,
His
but
name's
like
just Justin.
maybe like 2 points lower than that rat is where I would be.
2 points. So are we saying
I've
Justin's like a 9?
Yeah, I think so. I'm like a 7 but look like a rat. So if you don't like the way rats look, I would be like a 5. Does that make sense?
But if you do like the way rats look, then.
Then it's a 7 because I'm still not the 9 that Justin is.
So, like, if you had a crush on Justin from The Secret of Nim as a kid.
Then I'm a 7. Yeah. But if you didn't, then I'm a 5. If you're thinking to yourself this makes absolutely no sense, then straight 5, I think. Do you agree with that? Does that sound right?
Maybe.
I feel like that's somewhere in the ballpark there, yeah?
Yeah, I think it's a good estimate.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying though. Like I wouldn't want my avatar, like I feel like you see an avatar. An avatar can only be, I think, 1.5 points hotter than yourself.
I feel like you're really limiting yourself with that, though.
You think so? So you just want to, so they're just going to be as hot as possible.
Not necessarily, but like, still, what do you want it to look like?
I would want it to look like me, kind of. Am I supposed to make it not look like me?
Oh, okay, so a rat named
We're
Goose.
back to the very start. No, no, like the drizzle, how the drizzle would look as a rat.
Well, the drizzle was a cup.
Yeah, I know, but I could be a cup. I wouldn't hate that. Could you
I'm
make a?
not. I'm not making you a cup.
You could, like on special occasions, though.
I no, because we're not going with the drizzle.
Well, like on Halloween, I could be the drizzle, though. You know what I mean? That wouldn't be crazy. And you on Halloween, you could draw me as a cup,
Oh my
as a
god, I
shake.
guess,
Thank you.
and get sued by.
Well, it'd be a little different. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be exactly the same.
So would we call you the drip instead of the drizzle then?
I guess maybe we just like ask them at that point for permission.
Yeah,
I
you
just
have fun with that.
Do you think they're that like they just can't be reasoned with? Is that what you think?
I mean, I think they don't want you stealing their intellectual property.
Is that stealing?
I mean,
Is
if you're
a
making money
nickname
off of it,
a nickname stealing?
it might be.
So can I not call myself Goose because of Top Gun? Is that like you know what I mean? It's just a fucking
No,
animal.
yeah, that's different though. You're wanting to take like the name and the appearance and everything.
Well, just for Halloween though. That's dress up. I've to be fair, I would not want my avatar to just look like a shake in general. But that wouldn't be crazy to do on Halloween. I feel like there's some leeway on Halloween, right? Aren't there special Halloween laws?
Yeah, I don't know. Are Halloween laws?
Why not? Is that insane?
I mean, I don't think there's specific laws for Halloween.
So you can do whatever you want.
I don't know that you can do whatever you want.
I really didn't think we'd need a lawyer this fast. You know what I mean? Like
Well, you never know with you, honestly.
this is a fucking speed run. Holy shit. We're already this isn't even really the episode. This is just us talking shit before the episode. And
Yeah.
you already think we probably need one.
No, you said that, but you're the one who wants to like rip stuff from somewhere else.
It's an inspiration. So what are you going by though? We're focusing a little too much on me. You know what I mean? I feel like this was all a tactic to not talk about yourself. So what are you going by?
I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't use a lot of aliases. Like my name on most stuff is like my name with a dumb edgy.
So is that what you want to go by? What are you doing?
So I don't know.
If you want to be nameless, episode 1, I don't give a shit.
Nameless. That's the name. Nameless.
Yeah. Nameless thing,
I don't want to be a thing.
like the
Like
nameless
the
king.
nameless king. Yeah.
Yeah, nameless thing. I feel like that's solid.
I don't want to be a thing though.
What do you want to be? You can't be the nameless king, or else From Software will sue us.
I've been really thinking about.
As you've said,
I feel really strongly connected to the drizzle.
do not say the drizzle. Do not say that. They are so crazily full of shit. This is insane. I knew that was a good fucking name.
No, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Let's just get into it. The people know your voice.
Okay.
They'll know who
Do
you
they?
are. You just won't be named. Yeah. You're just not going to name yourself. That's cool. I don't give a shit.
So then you're not going to name yourself.
No, I am. I'm Goose. I'm going to go with
You're
Goose.
going to go with Goose.
I like Goose.
Okay, all right, that's fine. All right. You can be Goose.
Yeah, I like Goose. And you'll just be nameless for now. In my mind, the nameless thing. But, whatever you feel like doing. So go ahead and start it off with introduce yourself a little bit. We're mainly going to be talking about games, I mean, just nerd shit, right?
Yeah, nerd
So,
shit.
yeah. I mean, probably mostly games, but then also, anime, other shit like that, right?
Yeah,
Pretty
touch on
simple.
a little.
And we have become pretty solid at talking shit.
Yeah, well,
You
we've
know what I
had 10
mean?
years of practice.
Yeah. So talking shit about shit that we like. Tell us some of the stuff you like, some of your favorite games, maybe a few of your favorite anime. What are we talking here?
All right, so my favorite games, I really love the Dragon Age series. So I like RPGs. Also like cozy games and builder games like Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, Real Big Simmer. And then I like to get a little competitive sometimes. Like we
Toxic.
well, I preferred Heroes of the Storm when that was a thing. But now we're kind of just left with League. Never been a big shooter fan though. But
Yeah, that's
League,
crazy.
I suck at shooters. Like I want to like them, I'm just not good at them. So
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else? What about anime? What are some of your favorite anime?
my favorite anime, as you know, is Yuri on Ice.
Yep, Yuri on Ice.
Um, and then also like My Hero Academia, obviously, is a big one. Attack on Titan.
How do you feel about most fans of anime hating My Hero fans? How do you feel about that?
I mean, I think that's like they just state that the fandom is toxic, but like all fandoms are toxic as soon as they get big enough. And My Hero Academia just has a massive fandom. Like it's just one of the.
So you think you guys have done nothing wrong, is what you're saying for the
I've
record.
done nothing wrong.
But you're also, you're defending your people too. You don't think there's any crazies out
No, there's
there.
definitely
We'll
there's
get in,
no
we'll get
th-
into
there's
that
definitely
later.
some fucking crazies out there. I'm not saying that there's not. I'm just saying that like
Why do you guys have the reputation that you have?
because all fandoms are toxic as soon as they get big enough, and My Hero Academia has a massive fandom.
Okay. All right, whatever you say. All right, that it? Anything else to add? Any other games or anime you feel like throwing in there?
I think those are the big ones. I'm really excited about like Coral Island's update, which is another.
What the fuck is
Coral
that?
Island is another cozy like farming simulator.
Okay.
And it's having like a big update this summer with like a romance overhaul, and it's also going to be adding multiplayer. So, me and one of my best friends are gonna add a are gonna start a farm together. I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, it's your
Okay.
turn.
Well, first off, I'm not a cozy gamer, but my
You're a
cozy game
toxic
is
gamer.
satisfactory. I'm not. First off, I'm not toxic. Can we get that out of the way? But I love the toxic games. There's something about being in there that just feels good. You know?
Yeah.
I think I get charged up by the hatred. I think it just there's something that it does to me that I just like. I don't get involved with it too much. I barely ever type or talk on there, but it just feels good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like as far as the competitive games, I also do not play much shooters now, but I did used to like Halo 2's the GOAT, I feel like. And then like the early Call of Duties like Modern Warfare 1, 2, World at War. But don't play many shooters anymore. Also like RPGs, but specifically JRPGs, which
Mhm.
we're going to talk
Mhm.
about a little bit
Mhm.
today. So like I think my favorite 3 Final Fantasy games are 7, Tactics, and 10. Probably my 3 favorites. I'm a big story guy in general. So those things, JRPGs are big for me because of that. Newer games, uh, Baldur's Gate 3, Elden Ring, any of the Dark Souls games, essentially any of the FromSoft games. Um, Expedition 33, obviously, which we're going to talk about a lot. Some of the older Blizzard games like Diablo 2, Warcraft 3, and then of the toxic games, World of Warcraft and League of Legends, and mainly classic for World of Warcraft.
And League of Legends.
Not. And yeah, I would go berserk. I would be frothing if they made a classic League of Legends. I don't know what I would do. I really don't.
Uh,
There's so many characters that are just like dead and gone that I played because I'm a fucking cheeser. So all those cheesy motherfuckers that they got rid of, love that shit. But yeah, I mean, there's tons of games that I've really liked. I think those are the biggest ones though. You know, some Blizzard games, some JRPGs, and then some like just completely toxic competitive games. And that's about it, you
yeah.
know. Just all like the nerdy hateful shit probably. And then also uh I mean non video game related but still related. Fantasy Warhammer and Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh yeah, yeah. I couldn't. How can I forget D&D?
Yeah. So, you know, that stuff as well. And just board games too, right?
Yeah, we don't get to
In
play as
general.
much as we used to though.
We do not play very many anymore. But yeah, all those are probably the biggest ones. Anime, like I was saying before, I'm a big story guy. So I think my favorite ones are very heavily story based, like Attack on Titan, Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood,
Mm-hmm.
um, stuff like that. Those are a lot of the top ones. I think of like the big three, Bleach was my favorite out of the three, but I also like Shippuden a lot.
Yeah,
I'm a huge Berserk fan, but it doesn't have an amazing adaptation. Like the adaptations are just like good.
yeah. Well, the movies
But
anyway.
no, I mean the original anime was
The
good
original
too, but
anime,
like
but like the reboot
I
was.
saw it so fucking long ago. Oh, I didn't even that was gone from my mind. Thank you for reminding me.
The
I forgot that
animation is
existed.
so bad.
I mean, it looks like they spent like $37 on it or something. Like, what was that?
Somebody animated it in like MS Paint.
Yeah, just like who did this? No offense to the people that did that, but obviously they should have like shelled out more money, right?
Yeah, it looked.
Like if you're gonna make it, like make it. Like what are we doing? But those are probably the big ones. Uh, what do you want to get into at the start here?
Let's start with Expedition 33.
That is the big one
That's the big one.
that just came out.
Yep.
I mean, it's monumental for me, I would say.
Okay, so but first though, like without spoilers, because some people may have not played it yet. What did you like best
Uh-huh.
about it?
Almost everything, I would say. I mean, I think the thing that it does the best, more than any JRPG before it, so the most notable thing, would be the combat.
Mm-hmm.
So combat is much more active than in any JRPG before it. You know, like the game before that maybe would have been like Legend of Dragoon, which is a banger.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're like have an active role in combat and what you do matters. This even more so. Now it has like the updated graphics. It's using like parry mechanics from the Dark Souls games. Very smart. People already like those. But I think there's this weird kind of there's this weird just thing where some people don't really like JRPGs because they find the combat boring,
Yeah.
I guess. Like even I remember my best friend growing up, like he kind of liked JRPGs, but I could see him playing them sometimes, and he'd play for like an hour and a half, and then he'd be like, "I'm done." You know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
would just see his eyes start to gloss over, and he was just like, "I'm bored." You know, so like he was like kind of liked them and would get through them eventually, but it would take him like a month or more. And I think a lot of people are like that to where the combat just kind of bores them. And for some people like myself and like a lot of others, I think the thing that makes combat fun in those games is actually just the leveling up mechanics because you feel like each combat you're getting closer to interacting with those, so then it makes it seem like it's fun.
Right.
Uh, but in Claire, in Expedition 33, literally just the combat is fun. So they don't even need to trick you into thinking it's fun.
Yeah.
So really, it is just the best combat that has ever been in a JRPG by a long
Which
shot.
like we're using JRPG as like a genre term. Like obviously the game is not from Japan. but it's in the style of like a
I don't know. It's
JRPG.
like if a Russian guy's using Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? It's not Russian jiu-jitsu at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, no,
Like, so that's the way
I'm
that
just
I'm applying
clarifying
it.
that we know the game is not Japanese because inevitably someone will say the game's not
Yeah, like,
Japanese. We know
hey,
it's not
hey, you
Japanese.
rat fucks. And also now, if they say rat fucks, I can be offended now, right? As
No,
well.
you're not actually a rat. You just look like one.
But it's kind of a slur to me at that point,
No, no,
wouldn't you
no, we're
say?
not doing that.
So they say, hey, rat fucks. I'm not offended at all. And they say it's actually made by French people, and we're like, we know. That's why we had this segment in here where we said that.
Yeah, we know it's a French game. It's not a Japanese game.
Yeah, but it's like the style. And obviously you can tell from them making it that they were inspired by tons of
Yeah,
JRPGs. So it's like, which I like you can tell they're fans of the genre, which we haven't seen in a long time. But they made everything their own. It's not like they just straight ripped things, but you can like see the influences as you're going. And they do take things from other games that are some of the best aspects of those games. So you can kind of tell like they know what they're doing, and it shows in the final product.
yeah.
But yeah, I would say the combat is the best we've seen in that genre ever. I would also say the music
The
probably is
music
too.
was incredible. That soundtrack is like ungodly good.
11 out of 10 for like gameplay, 11 out of 10 for music, because nothing before it has probably been better. And it's crazy because it's a genre that's had tons of good music
Yeah, but
when you really think
but
about
it's
it.
kind of
But like
insane.
it's got too many. It's just like you're fighting a dumb fucking merchant, and then it just rips this fucking banger, and you're like, why?
Did they just like find
And
that guy off SoundCloud?
I think that's what I read. Yeah, he just like found him. He found like one track that he made or something like that, and then like contacted him, and then he like sent him some more, and he's like, yeah,
That's
yeah, this
crazy.
guy. The guy was obviously very passionate though, but like there were so many good tracks that he could have a banger track for like just fighting a merchant. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because like there just were that many to where it's like, so it like seems odd when you hear it. It's like, well, why is this so good? But then you just keep hearing just banger after banger, and you're like, okay, I got it. Just the whole thing's good. Okay. But yeah, obviously it's a genre that has tons of good music, but this one, it just had too many good tracks.
Yeah. It was just track after
Uh,
track.
So probably the best music. Obviously, music isn't like a gigantic category in one of these games, but gameplay is, and then also story.
I was going to say the story was also incredible.
Yeah, where do you rank it?
I mean, like I
Uh,
haven't played as
JRPG
many
wise.
JRPGs of you as you, but I do think it is incredible, like the twists and turns that it takes, which we did predict a lot of it, but it was still done
Yeah, but
so
we were
well.
like bouncing off each other. Well, you know what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean.
yeah.
We had some
We were
advantages.
like fucking Sherlock and Watsoning that shit.
Yeah. So but I don't think it like there were some of them that were obvious, but there were others that were pretty decently hidden. I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
Uh, me personally, I would put it like in the highest tier
yeah,
to the point where to where it's like preference. Me preferentially, I don't have it at the highest, but I just like games where there's like some. I like when there's like some form of like a political struggle. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
Final Fantasy 12 is a good example where they're like running from a certain country, they're dealing with a country, those politics come in like they're directly conflicted with their ideals in some fashion. So I like a different type of story, but I could still acknowledge that this one was one of the best stories I've ever seen. It is in like the highest tier.
yeah,
It just wasn't exactly my favorite type, but I think like it's top 10 for me story wise, and it's not like exactly what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? So the story was amazing. Gameplay was amazing. I think if I was like to nitpick, I think the main thing that I wouldn't like is some of the level up mechanics. But like I was saying before, like a lot of times in the past, level up mechanics were like how you thought the gameplay was fun. So it doesn't super 100% matter in this game. but I felt like some of the leveling up stuff was a little weak.
Yeah.
Like the weapon system just left a little bit to be desired. I kind of get annoyed at weapon systems where it's like you just choose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I kind of like stuff to be stronger than other stuff because then it's like exciting whenever you find a new
Yeah, I
weapon.
agree with that.
When it becomes like a you choose situation, what ends up happening a lot of times is like you find some weapon that's really good for your playstyle and then you use it through like 80-90% of the game, which is what happened on like I think two of the characters that we were
Yeah.
playing. Where it's just like I just got an upgrade pretty early in the game and then I just had that for like the next 30 hours. Which is fine. It's just like you miss out on an opportunity to like be excited, to have stuff fire off in your brain.
Yeah.
So like that was the only thing. That's literally the only thing about the game, like the leveling up and the maybe like some of the side content at the very end. That was the only stuff in the game where I felt like it was like average. Everything else about the game was like 10 out of 10, which kind of made me feel like it just was a 10 out of 10 game or like a 9.5 out of 10. I mean, it's like, it's a bigger deal though, it being that good of a game, because it's from a genre that's been so underrepresented in the past like 15 years or 20 years or
Yeah.
so. Because like, there's just so few games that have really gotten this much attention from this genre. And there are very few games that ever pump this many resources into this genre now. To where it kind of has died a bit. I think the biggest culprit of this is Final Fantasy. As I'm squinting begrudgingly. How do you feel about that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I haven't even played any of the more recent Final Fantasy games because they're just all like sort of action games, I guess. Like, it's not, and not that I necessarily hate action games or anything. It's just, I don't, not what I want from Final Fantasy, if that makes sense.
That 100% makes sense. I think like at some point, I don't know why, they just got into a board meeting and someone said, new people just want action games. I don't know how the fuck it happened. Because I don't know, like, there's no like bomb. You know what I mean? There was no like, just like a shitty, there was no like Snow White that just bombed, like a completely shitty movie where you're like, oh, we can't make this anymore. Like that, when did that moment never happen? It's just like one day somebody snapped their fingers and Final Fantasy was like, we don't want to make these games anymore.
I mean, I've like told you before, I think it came with the rise of like the new systems when like PS3 and 360 came out and they were releasing games like God of War and Heavenly Sword and stuff, and those games were doing well, but like those games weren't that deep. Like they were fun, but they were really just hack and slash games, you know?
Like who like gives a shit about like the legacy of some of that stuff? Like who talks about Heavenly Sword?
Nobody.
You know
Nobody
what I
talks
mean?
about Heavenly Sword anymore.
And I got that game when I got a PS3.
I did too.
And it was fun. But I think I played it once and have not given a fuck about it since
Yeah,
then.
same. I played
But
it one
like,
time and that was it.
and it was cool. Like, but it's like these Final Fantasy games have a lasting impact for sure.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah, I mean the games are. It's like the issue. The thing is, the biggest issue is they haven't completely failed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like people
Like
still
they keep making these games. And the thing that sucks is everything other than the action is good. So the game can't fail. Like the story, like I remember playing 15, the story was really good. Like the graphics were extremely good, the music was very good. I felt like the characters were very good. The villain was a great villain. And then I was just like running around swinging my sword being like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is though is like none of those games have lasting impact the way that like 7 or like 10 did.
Yeah, but I think that is mostly true because people don't have fun playing them.
Yeah, or at least not
Like
as much fun as they
nobody gives a
did.
fuck about, like nobody like really cares about the story if you're like not enjoying yourself swinging your sword.
Yeah.
Like that's like the baseline. Like I have to have fun playing. And you're right also, like I also like action games. I just don't think these are the games to be action games. I think when you have these giga story based games, it's a little weird like running around, you're like sweating your fucking ass off trying to hit every button, and then being like, hey, just sit back for 7 minutes and watch this giant cutscene. You know what I mean? You like aren't in that mindset.
Yeah.
So it's like it even hurts the story a bit, I feel like, because you're kind of just chilling when you're playing, typically when you're playing JRPGs. So it's like very easy for it to just transition into some cutscene or some dialogue or expedition where you're just like reading and kind of hanging out and just vibing with the story. It is a little cozy.
Yeah.
And also, I don't think the action games have really been good. Also, like I like action games. Dark Souls is an action game at the end of the
Right,
day.
yeah.
And I love those fucking games. Those are my favorite games right now. Like in general, I just am buying every single one that comes out. I just expect it to be a banger. They all have
You're
been.
not gonna get the newest one.
Well, we'll see. I'm gonna wait for reviews because I didn't plan on getting a Switch 2, right?
Right.
So it's like, but you see what I'm saying? Like I just expect the games to be great
Yeah.
because they've like earned that. But like the action games also just like aren't very fun in Final Fantasy. Like I think in general for an action game to be fun, you have to really be challenged a lot more than you feel like you need to in JRPGs. Because in JRPGs, you like creating your party intelligently and you're like constantly looking to get advantages on paper.
Yeah.
So like if the game's easy, it's typically because you're playing smart. So you're like cool with that because you're like, oh my God,
Right.
look at me being a general. But like if an action game's easy, you're just sitting there swinging your sword being like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
Like I haven't played the second 7 remake, I think Rebirth, and I haven't played 16. But I played the first so Final Fantasy 7 remake. I've played that and I played 15. So I've played 2 of their last 4 like action mainline games, right?
Yeah.
I did not die in either of those 2 games.
Yeah.
I played both of those games and I just played them all the way through and never got a game over. I was bored out of my fucking mind.
Yeah, because there's like no challenge in it.
What am I doing? Who like they're way too fucking easy. So it's like, and I think they want the games to be for everybody, but an action game needs to be, it doesn't need to be Dark Souls hard. You don't need people getting 500, 1,000 deaths, but there is no reason why I should have 0 deaths through the game. If that's the case, then something's fucking absurdly wrong.
Yeah, there needs to be like some like tactical skill required to play. Otherwise, you're not really playing, you're just button mashing.
And you think of like the early successful action games too. It's like, I think the biggest one that comes to mind, the earliest one that like really a lot of people liked would have been like Ninja Gaiden.
Mm-hmm.
That game was hard as fuck. It wasn't like Dark Souls hard, but it was very difficult. Everybody talked about how hard it was.
Yeah.
Like it was no joke. You had to get good at the game to like win. You know what I mean? You had to get better. You don't really have to get all that good at the new Final Fantasy or action games to really win. Like you kind of just like, I don't know. It's just way too easy.
Yeah.
So I think they've kind of botched it. But that's kind of the biggest thing that I like about Expedition 33, because hopefully this opens their eyes that, hey, like people still love this shit. So I don't know. Now it's going to see, like, obviously they already have stuff in the works, right? They aren't going to I don't think they'll necessarily just change a game that's almost done.
Yeah. But hopefully future games.
Exactly. Hopefully this signals to them of like, hey, people kind of prefer this shit. Just put some action elements in the combat. Like, I don't need to be moving around. I don't need my character to be zooming in circles and for me to like control everything. You can add some action to the game and still have all the RPG stuff intact. And I feel like both fan bases would be happy.
Yeah. I think so.
I feel like that's kind of what we're seeing with Expedition 33.
Yeah.
Is like you have a much larger audience. Like all of the old heads like it. And then a lot of like the newer, younger generation likes it too. It just seems like everybody fucking loves this game.
I think it's huge, and I really hope that we see more games in that style going forward because of the success of Expedition 33.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. Did I say this while I was playing? But there was a point when I was playing where I was like, oh shit, this is still my favorite genre. I just didn't realize that because I haven't fucking played the
Yeah,
genre
because
in
you
fucking
haven't been
forever.
able to play any of those.
Like, I was instantly back in it where I was like, I literally just want to be up for 16 hours straight, go to sleep, wake back up, play six. You know what I mean? Like, I was not able to do that. I think we played it over 2 weekends. I was fairly game to just no life the game till I was done, and I've not felt that way in a very long time. So it kind of was this feeling like, oh shit, this is still my favorite genre. It's just been
And I mean,
gone.
I was right there in it with you, like
Yeah,
watching the
it
whole
was a fun
time.
experience for
Yeah,
sure.
like
How did you feel about our boy Verso?
I love Verso.
Yeah, I could tell you were really. How hot did you feel like he was? One to 10?
We're maybe getting into a little bit of spoiler territory here, but I loved Verso.
Yeah, well that is. I feel like that is the cutoff
And
right there.
I think
Well,
too, yeah, so kind of spoilers from this point forward, but I think too one of the things that I like so much about Verso is that he's definitely not a perfect character. He's like very flawed, even though like his family seems to idealize him and like see him as like this perfect son. Even their recreation of him was very flawed. Um and also just like God, he's so hot. Like he he's
that's
so
really what I
hot.
was asking. Yeah, what are we talking here
Well,
exactly
I
for you?
mean, he's like my type though, so he's like maybe like a 9 or a 10 to me, might not be a 9 or a 10 to everybody else, but
Just
like
say you think he's a 10.
he's
Just say it. Don't say
yeah,
9 or
he's
10.
a 10 for me for sure.
Yeah. I don't know why you're saying 9 or 10 for me.
It's
You
the
know what
whole
it is.
package too. It's not just like physically speaking. It's like he's broody, he's wounded, he's sarcastic. Like I ugh, yes.
He's also a
If
musician.
he's a musician, come the fuck on. Yeah, I was a goner from the beginning, so I didn't stand a chance.
He does lie a lot.
Yeah. Look, I didn't say he was necessarily boyfriend material, okay?
You think he's boyfriend material for sure.
What are you trying to say I have a bad track record?
I mean, I'm just saying he might kill you. That's very possible.
He did kill his ex.
Yeah, that did happen.
But he knew she was fake,
Seems
and
like,
that's how he justified it.
yeah, that's a whole
He's like,
thing.
we'll bring her back.
I don't think he was thinking
He
that.
was.
He was. Is that part of the
In his
note?
letter, yeah, he was like talking about they'll fix it or whatever, but like for right now.
We'll just bring her back without this memory of me killing her.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's
That's
fine.
fine. That's no biggie.
Yeah, 'cause she's not real, right?
That
So
sounds like the future for our civilization, possibly. You know, like 400 or 500 years from now.
God.
Those, yes, fuck it. We'll bring her back.
But yeah,
No
if we're in
biggie.
spoiler territory though, let's talk about the endings.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the things I didn't like the endings very much.
I think that's kind of the point though. I think there's not supposed to be a good ending.
Well, it's not that. I like some heroism in my games, and I felt like both endings were not heroic.
No, they're
But
both inherently selfish to a way.
that's I felt like I would have liked the endings a lot more if each person's ending was the opposite.
Yeah.
If Mael was pushing for for her to have to leave, but Verso to like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To like switch both of them, switch places so that both of them are like making unselfish decisions that help the other person, that get the other person what they want. And then Verso's doing the same, right? He's like, I would rather not exist, but I'm going to like, I want this so that you can stay and get what you want. And she did the opposite as well. Like, I felt like if they were both fighting each other for the opposite reasons, both of those pursuits would have been not like both endings would have been unhappy, right? They both would have been like kind of middle grounds a bit where you aren't enthused about either one, but I would have been more enthused about those characters.
Yeah.
But then they both kind of just make decisions that serve themselves, which I didn't really like. That's why I feel like a DLC would be nice with like a third ending.
I do think, like, to some degree, I understand Verso more, at least. Well, I don't know about more. But, like, to his thinking, real people are dying over essentially a memory of him, and he's not even real.
I think that is what it hinges on because I was more on her side because I felt like the people were real, like they have
Yeah,
thoughts.
that's the name we went with. But like,
That they have thoughts, they're making babies. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
but it
Like,
cost Mael in the end her life.
but she's living a life in there.
Yeah, but
So at the end of the day, if you think the people in there are living lives, then you think she's also living a life.
yeah, but I don't know. I
So
mean,
that's what I went.
it's about
Obviously, you don't have to
perspective. It's like
agree.
your perspective on it,
Yeah,
and like his perspective on it is that like real people's lives
yeah,
with
like these don't matter.
souls.
But also, though, another reason why I picked Miles' ending, we don't know that their reality is real.
Yeah, yeah, you did mention that when we were playing
Because
it. Like they could be.
so that also like made me go towards her ending as well. Because like if we're just valuing like several people over like how many other people live, like thousand or whatever it is, I don't know how many people are there, but a lot more people. If we're valuing them because they're real, we don't know if they're fucking real. Like at the start of the game,
There are points where there's like a painting within the painting.
there's paintings in the fucking paintings.
Yeah, so
So how do we know that they aren't the same thing? They aren't like somebody that sent there, and the people in the world believe that they're real, and them outside of there believe that they're real. So like, you see what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like once that can of worms has been opened, there's no way for us to know that the people outside the painting are real as well.
yeah, yeah. That's
So we're gonna value you guys more because you might be slightly more real than us, but still fake. I'm not. That pushes me a little bit more towards it.
yeah,
Obviously, there's no way to know, but like I think that's kind of the point, right?
yeah, yeah,
Like it's just ambiguous. Um, I almost like that they didn't really like mention that it's just like there and you could think about it.
yeah. I mean, they
Kind of
definitely
weird that there's paintings inside this
they
painting.
or they could even be maybe they're in a novel
That's true.
because they talk about a little bit about the like kind of war between the painters and the writers. So for all we know, the writers wrote them into like this novel that has their whole family like
Oh,
locked
that's
up.
like that. Yeah, they aren't in a painting; they're in a novel, and
Yeah,
then they're making paintings inside the novel. Yeah, it's absolutely could be
yeah,
happening.
yeah, for sure. So I don't know, but they left a lot of threads too for another game that could continue the story. Um,
Or can continue in some fashion with this magic, right?
yeah, yeah, for sure. In this
Like
world,
they could do whatever. There's a lot of options that they have, so they really did not write themselves in a corner. They could like do
and
whatever.
then like also like you mentioned, like it's also possible that like real Verso or quote unquote real Verso faked his death.
Yeah, that was like a video that I saw the other day of somebody talking about that.
But if we're
And
talking if we're taking everything at face value and saying that the quote unquote real world is the real world and whatever, then I think we can all agree that the real villain of the fucking story is their batshit crazy mom.
I think she kind of is,
Yeah,
yeah.
she definitely
Legit.
is.
Like I think Renoir is probably the most likable character, even though he's presented as the worst all the way up until the end.
Yeah, but the thing about Renoir is like, so I don't know.
He's an enabler.
He's an enabler, and he's also enabling this neglect of their youngest daughter who is like wounded and injured and traumatized, like because her brother died to save her, and then her mom blames her for the death instead of blaming the writers. Um, because it's just like easier to displace that blame that way, I guess. And then like their mom wants to just like go off and live in a fantasy world in the painting. But even within that painting, like she has her daughter as like still scarred and is still like punishing her in a way instead of and then she just
Yeah, she could have just made her like happy.
yeah, but she chose not
She
to.
could have chosen to
Yeah,
do
so
that, yeah.
she's
And she just chose
in
not
my
to.
mind she's just a complete piece of shit. Like and then
Did she make the versions of all of them?
yeah,
Is that stated in there? She
yeah.
is. I don't remember.
Um
Yeah.
yeah, she did.
I mean, she's definitely the biggest culprit for sure.
And then like for Renoir, it's like, I don't know, man.
Also,
Have your
well,
wife
also with her
committed and
though,
take care of your kids.
also with her, I think like her making Mael a baby when she like got control of her teleporting in, it could be construed as like she wanted to give her a chance to be happy.
No, I don't think so.
But like also it serves her because now she's extremely sympathetic to the people inside the painting, which is the mom's goal,
Yeah, and
right?
I think she also did
Is
it to
present
buy time.
Yeah, so it like buys her time and it puts Mael like on her side essentially of being like this place needs to continue to exist cuz now she's like born there and lived a whole life
Yeah.
there. I think she did that on purpose to gain that
Yeah, I mean
from
she
Mael.
definitely didn't do it to make Mael happy.
You know, it kind of seems like at one point they're like, "Oh, well, she's the one preserving everybody," so you kind of like feel like you're on her side. But then when you really think about it, you're like,
Yeah, she sucks.
maybe not still."
Yeah, she sucks.
And yeah, Renoir's an enabler, but he is trying.
Yeah, but he's trying in a like have your cake and eat it too kind of way where like he wants to save his wife and like I understand that, but she's like pretty much abusing and neglecting your youngest child who survived this traumatic event. Even within the painting, like I said, she made her like all scarred up and stuff. Like she doesn't want her to be happy. She completely blames her. And like you being in this painting for all this time trying to stop her is also neglecting your youngest child. Like, this woman is completely overtaken by her grief. She's off her fucking rocker. Like, you just need to have her, like, committed or something and focus on your kids right now.
Yeah.
But instead, he's like not necessarily enabler because he's like trying to stop her, but like he's putting too much effort where it's not like it's clearly not gonna work. And then he's also like, we have to 100% destroy the painting like in the end of the game when you're talking to him as Mael, even though your daughter has like lived an entire life in this painting at this point and has finally found a place where she can be happy. Like she
Also, though, why can she not just like stay in for few years, pop out?
their reason for like why she can't do that, because that's what like she says she'll do,
Oh
is
yeah, she
the
says
mom will find it.
he'll like, I think she said the dad will find it and he will destroy it the first chance he gets, even though he agreed not to. Right?
Right. Well, they're saying that because they're like, the mom will definitely find it again. So as soon as she comes out, the dad will destroy it.
Speaking of it being hidden, though, I do like this like Verso faking his death theory, possibly actually being opposed to the family. Let's say, in some fashion, you starting the second game as Mael finally coming out of the painting, your painting is hidden, right? That was the whole
Yeah.
point of it. And then like when you come out, everything's fucked up because of like the conflict between, let's say, the painters, the writers, and
Yeah.
let's say he went with like the musicians or whatever.
Yeah. Because we would, I mean, assume that they have similar magic or whatever.
I would just assume all of the arts have some magic of some
Right.
capacity in this world. That would be I wouldn't assume because the painters aren't fighting anybody if they can do that shit, and the writers can just write books, right? Like they're like, okay, like what are we talking about here? So obviously for them to be opponents, like they have to each have magic.
Yeah.
But I do think the thing that makes the most sense with him faking his death, and like the video that I saw said like he's in cahoots with the writers, but then it constantly paints him as the liar, as a liar. Well, I think, well, if he's the liar, then I would say that he's pinning it on the writers.
Yeah. Yeah. That's also possible.
And you know what I mean? That would make more sense if he just is like pinning it towards the writers because that's the way he thinks. He like finds.
Because we don't even know if Verso in the game as we know him is truly how Verso was in real life, because he is, again, this idealized version of himself that his mother created.
Yeah, and that version lies a fuck ton, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, still
And then the Axum or Axons or whatever they are, which his dad made.
his is the mask.
His is the mask that says hides like truth and lies, essentially. and is all about lying to you. So like both parents felt like he was liars. Was he a liar? To what extent do they really know, right? If he lies that much, he could actually be a lot better at lying than they even
Yeah.
know. So it's like they only know an extent of it. And they don't if somebody lies that much, how do you really know their true intentions? So I think he would be an excellent villain for the second game.
You just don't.
And there's a ton they could do with it. And I like that it would make you unhappy as
I was
well.
about to say I don't want him to be a villain.
Yeah, that aspect makes me just there's something
Why are
about
you
it,
like this? You're supposed to be my friend.
Yeah, but like you enjoy the pain to an extent, right?
To an extent, but fuck.
That'd be a great game. That's drama.
It is drama.
Look, I like those sad games, okay? Let me be sad.
I don't like it when it's
Let me
too
enjoy
sad.
myself. Yeah,
There's
I mean, like the ending of Final Fantasy 15 was a little sad.
Yeah.
Do you remember that shit?
Yeah, I do. And that's when I was like, okay, yeah, I'm never playing this. But also, I think there's in both of the endings to Expedition 33, I think there's a bittersweetness to both endings.
There's no like great we did it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's no purely happy ending or purely sad ending. There's like it kind of sucks a little bit either way.
One thing that I also like really liked about the game was that it like started you off with a very clear goal.
Yeah.
Which I think most games in this genre, you're kind of like adventuring a while until that presents itself. So a lot of times it takes like 10 hours into the game before you have like your villain and before you have like your main objective and like some big problem that's going on. This one, like right out of the gate, you're like, you like know what time it is. You're like, we're heading on this expedition. This is why we're heading out. These are the stakes. Look at all this shit that's happening like right now because of this. I got all these people just turning into flowers. Like, so immediately, like, exactly what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Which I think was pretty cool because most games like this, it takes a while to get to that.
Yeah.
But they did a good job of just putting you right in it.
Yeah. I think that's sort of a good way to get people hooked on any story, not just in games and books too, because I read a lot, is like a book that really starts like sort of in the action, even if like it does walk it back a little bit eventually to get you more immersed in the world and the characters. Like sometimes books that start off a little slower and they're like world building and character introduction and stuff, sometimes to me that can be a little tedious. It's a little harder for me to get into it. Put me in the action. Like let's get into it. So like that is definitely a storytelling style that I am partial to.
Yeah, I mean, I think like there's benefits to not because you can like, I think the group has more time to mesh before things get crazy when you aren't like instantly thrown in it. But I think this team being a very small amount of people, like it's not some cast of like 10 characters. So that like made it work. But there are like some benefits for it to taking a while. But I did like notice that instantly, like, oh shit, like I'm not used to this. You know what I mean? Any other thoughts about the game?
I think that covers like my main thoughts because like I didn't actually play, but I did watch you play all the way through it. So
I mean, you essentially played.
For me, it was. I mean, yeah. I mean, I helped you.
Like you were there. You were with me the whole experience. So
Yeah.
Like you just didn't press the buttons, but there's not like a ton to it. You're just blocking and choosing stuff.
Yeah, we made decisions together. The mansion was fun, like unlocking all the doors in the mansion and stuff.
I'm still pissed about that though. For opening every single door, there should have been a much bigger payoff. Am I crazy?
No, I don't think so.
That was one of the things that I mentioned that I did not like. I think some of the side quests, some of like the end content was a little like me scratching my head. That was definitely one of them. I was like, there's no way I don't get something crazy for opening every door in this motherfucking place.
Yeah, I felt like maybe if you open every door, you should get like extra story or something.
And something that makes me stronger. Both.
Yeah.
For a game that has this much story, it really should be both. Like in most games, there would have been like a final weapon for one of your
Maybe if you
characters.
unlock all the doors, you can unlock a secret third ending that's not as shitty.
Yeah. I was at DLC, I want a Minoko ending.
A Monoko ending.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe an ending where Painting Verso does get to live out a happy life instead of just being miserable the whole fucking time. And Mile maybe actually getting to go in and out of the painting instead of just dying in it. But
Yeah. Like, so I just feel like some capacity of like him staying with her, eventually getting to her to like leave so that she doesn't just die here. And like her occasionally coming back to visit would be the best ending.
yeah, it would be. But
You know what I mean? And even him like eventually not existing and like choosing to not exist, but like him helping her get to that point, existing for a while longer and maybe choosing to exist or not choosing to exist. You know, her just not dying in there and realizing there's some value to like the real life as well.
yeah.
I think also like there's something weird about just being in a place where you can make anything happen.
Yeah.
Because I do think part of the joy of anything is like the opposite.
Yeah.
So like if only positive things happen to you, eventually positive things don't matter.
Right, yeah.
Kind of in a way like negative things make positive things feel better. So like I can't imagine living in a world where you're the painter and you can make everything great all the time. I have to imagine that gets boring after a while.
Yeah, like where's the drama? Where's the excitement?
So maybe just go back to your family that hates you for a few months and then be like, I'm going to go back to Spain real
Yeah.
quick. You know what I mean? Like there's some value in that.
But yeah. And then I think we also wanted to talk about Nightreign.
Yes. Yeah, you didn't see that as much.
No, I watched you play like a little bit, but I mean, like I
Yeah.
understand the concept, but like
Yeah, I
specifically
mean,
also how like is it just like a money grab?
yep. Yeah, I mean, I think that I've seen a lot of comments like that. And I mean, I agree and disagree. I'm a little cautious on this one cuz it's not a money grab in the sense of like the game's fun. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like it takes a while to get used to. You kind of have to learn the map. You have to learn what your character can do, what the other characters can do to like really play well with people. You have to like kind of have a strategy in your head of what you want to accomplish each day. But like once you get those things down, it's fun. Like it's a different take. I had a great time playing it. I don't feel like I wasted my time at all. I think I've played like 45 hours, 50 hours, something like that. All the bosses are done. All the bosses have been done for a while. Even if I don't play it anymore, I felt like that was a great experience.
yeah,
But the thing about it though is I'm not every gamer and I went into that experience kind of knowing that's what it would be because I read a little bit about it and saw like, oh, it's like this battle royale that's PvE. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I knew that wouldn't last forever. I know there's not a ton of replay value in that. I know we're not going to get like some weird story event. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I know a lot of the key things are going to be missing, so I went into the game expecting that and being okay with
It's
that.
just sort of like a way for you to get sort of the Elden Ring experience, but with friends. But do you think it's a situation of like, because I mean, you're a little bit more tapped into that fan base than I am. So, like, do you think it's a situation of like, no one asked for this? Or like, have people been asking for some sort of multiplayer option for these games?
I mean, like I think maybe people would want some people want a little more support for just the mainline games with multiplayer, but I don't think that's a wild amount of community in general. I think most of the community, it is kind of a weird game to make because most of the community is just single player gamers. That's who,
Yeah, that's
like,
what
because
I
that's what
would
you're
think.
playing, right?
That's what I would think.
That's what the fucking audience is. So in a sense, it is a little bit of like a who asked, buddy? Who asked,
Yeah,
bozo?
like, who asked for this?
But like, it's not a bad game. Like, it's fun. They made it well. So it's not like a money grab in the sense like where they made some shitty product and It's like just play it and shut the fuck up. I don't feel like that happened. But like obviously it's not the quality of their main games, but it was never going to be if you like read what it
It
was.
does seem like a way to sort of scratch that itch without committing to like a full replay of like Elden Ring or
Hmm.
something. Like, hey, I
That's
just kind of
true.
want to get in and fight some bosses and like build a character for like an hour, you know? Like, so
Yeah.
I think there's definitely like value in that cuz like some people will start one of these games and they won't finish it for months. Like not everybody like plays games like we do where we just like
No
ADHD,
life.
hyper focused, no life
Just
it.
full degenerate.
Yeah.
Like,
So, a lot of people, may still not have even beaten the game. So, it,
well, I don't know about that. It's been out for fucking 2 years
um,
or something like that, or three
yeah,
years now.
yeah, but, some people don't pick it up on release or whatever. And then it takes them months to get anywhere. And because they're not like, they don't play, they don't know live games like that, that, it takes them longer to get past the bosses and things like that. Um,
But I don't know. I highly doubt that they made that game for those people or for that reason.
no, but I'm saying it's probably like part of it.
Yeah, there's definitely value in it, and I do think that's true. Like if I wanted a little itch, because Elden Ring is a more daunting game than the rest of them because the world's so big,
Yeah.
and that's some of my problems sometimes with starting a new game. Is like I don't really want to explore everything, but then if I'm not exploring everything, then I'm just going to the exact things that I want and grabbing everything.
Yeah.
And then at that point, it's like, well, which bosses do I even want to
Because,
do?
I mean, we covered some of that when I watched you replay it, because I didn't watch you play it the first time. But, like, I watched your replay recently, and you're like, by the way, I'm just skipping whole zones. Like, some
Yeah, I'm
whole
not. I
zone.
was like, yeah, I'm not doing this shit. I'm not doing this shit.
Yeah.
Like there are certain areas where I'm just like, I don't. There's nothing important here. There's no great bosses. It doesn't matter.
And then you
So like
add
to an
DLC
extent,
to it,
you
too. So I think that, yeah, to an extent, it, like, helps you kind of, like, scratch that itch of, like, I kind of want to play these games, but don't want to commit to, like, this massive playthrough of this huge game.
yeah. I mean that is true to an extent. Like I liked the game. I thought it's fun. I think it's worth getting if you like the Souls games or Elden Ring in general. I think you'll have fun with it. Although you probably won't have fun with it the first 2-3 hours. Once you get going, you'll start having fun with it.
Yeah.
Um, just don't fight Darth Vader, as people are calling him, the bell-bearing hunter.
Yeah,
That guy is
yeah. I did
insane.
the one
I
like
have you?
game I watched you play. You were like, "We
Yeah,
don't
where
want
I
this.
was just
We don't want the bell bearing
I
hunter." And then you're like, "We got the bell bearing hunter."
yeah, we got the bell-bearing hunter, and I'm like trying to solo it, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just not
And
gonna
like the
do this.
walls are closing in.
I get hit once, and it's like 3/4 my health, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm done. I'm leaving. All right, we're gonna fight something else. I'm not doing this right now. Yeah, you kind of get smoked by that guy. I remember the first castle that I tried. I think it had the trolls throwing shit at me, and then it had Darth Vader on the bottom. And I was like, I'm never coming back to this castle again. You know what I mean? I was like, this is crazy. This is insane, but it's just literally like the most annoying castle somebody could make. And then, like, 15 hours later, I'm like, or like probably 10 hours later, I'm like, I think I'm going to try this castle again. It's like 10 times easier.
Because it's just
Oh,
different mob.
yeah. Oh, I just got fucked the first time. Okay, that's cool.
But also
Um,
with Nightreign also came like they announced like what a movie with A24, an anime for Netflix. So like
yeah, so that is what I want to
is
talk
it
about. Like, I don't feel like the game is a money grab in the sense that the game is bad or not worth playing or like not a good product. But I do feel, and you're like talking about it, like I feel like there is a change in strategy to where it is a little bit of a money grab. Not in a bad way, but it seems like they're really trying to monetize this franchise now.
but like also to be fair, like it appears at least to me like they're doing it the right way. Like if I was going to have any studio make an Elden Ring movie, like 100% A24, right? Like
Yeah, they're good at the weird shit.
I mean, like if you look at movies like The Green Knight, like it very much has like a similar atmosphere to like a From Software game where it's very like weird and like there's a horror aesthetic even though it's not necessarily a horror movie. Like so if any movie studio was going to make an Elden Ring movie, I would want it to be A24. And I think that A24 can make a good movie. And then I don't know what studio is making the Bloodborne anime, but I know it's getting done through Netflix. So I'm not 100% sure what to expect on that one. But I'm like, hopefully it'll be good. I did like Bloodborne's like aesthetic and
Yeah, it's
weird
awesome.
ass story. So hopefully that'll be good. I mean, we're definitely gonna watch it. So
Yeah, there's no way to know. Yeah, we're gonna watch all this shit, but it's kind of like it's not like I don't necessarily think the things will be bad, but it does signal a change in strategy.
yeah,
Of like, hey, we've only got Miyazaki controlling everything. Like he's the director of every fucking game, other than one, I think. Like he's the one pushing everything forward. We're just making a game every few years. All of them are like 9.5 out of 10s or 10 out of 10s. You know what I mean? Like every game is crazy. Like Nightreign is, even though it's fun, it is not a 9.5 out of 10. It is not a 10 out of 10.
yeah,
Like it's a fun game, but it's probably like an 8. Like it's cool. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But it's not like gonna change like how you think about games for a while, right? Like it's not like blowing your mind.
yeah.
There's a change. It almost feels like there's a change in strategy of like, let's make a lot of money, which doesn't mean that they're going to put out bad products. But if they're putting out a lot of products, if a lot of them are not headlined by Miyazaki, it doesn't make me feel like it's going to collapse. I'm starting to worry is all.
One thing I wanted to point out too, which I think I brought this up with you before, was like there is also a possibility that these companies came to them wanting to make
Yeah,
these
but still,
products because because with Bloodborne and then especially with Elden Ring, they got so big um within the gaming community.
yeah,
Like
that's true.
Elden Ring got massive. So I
I
think that, you know, there's also a possibility that A24 came to them and they were like, we want to make a movie with this. Um
yeah, but I think it is still a change in strategy in some form because there's no way they haven't been approached by stuff before. Maybe not as many, because this is like three side projects going on
but
simultaneously,
even
right?
if let's say
And
that
you,
they haven't been or that they have been approached before, they obviously haven't said yes. So maybe it was, you know, you could even say that shows to like the integrity they expect from their products to some degree, that like a studio like A24 approaches them and then they're like, okay, you guys have the
I'm,
stuff, you can do it.
I'm just, I'm not saying I don't want to be a doomer. I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I'm just a little worried. That's all. I'm just a little cautious. Look, something similar happened with Final Fantasy. Something similar happened with Blizzard. Like there was a point where both Square Enix and Blizzard, they just couldn't miss.
Hey, I will
You know what
I
I
will
mean?
die on this hill, but the Warcraft movie is amazing.
I think it's
I
good.
love
I
that
like it.
movie.
But there was a point where both of those companies could not miss. Every game that they came out with was just godlike.
Yeah, and
And then at some point there was a change in strategy, there was a change in mentality, and it was always like to make more money or to like pump more stuff out in some fashion. It was different with each company, with both of
yeah.
them. But at some point there was a change, there was a shift. I know with Final Fantasy it was X2. That was like the first game that they made
Ugh.
where like they literally just made it because they knew it would be really cheap to make and they could make a lot of money off of it. And they knew it would make way less than 10, but they just knew that they would get a big profit
But
off of
my
it.
problem with
So it's like,
X2, sorry to like sidetrack for a second, is that the only way to get the actually good ending is to 100% the game, and I'm not fucking doing that. Okay? I'm not
yeah,
100%ing the game.
not 100% of your goddamn game.
I played part of the game. I found out that you have to 100% it to get the actual good ending where like Titus is like actually alive and a real person and all that stuff. And then I was like, I'll go look it up on YouTube. I'm done.
Thanks, bye.
Yeah, I not about that life.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just like I feel something eerily similar to stuff I've already seen from two other companies where I felt like they couldn't miss and they were just going to be good forever.
Yeah, and I mean I can kind of see that either way with this because it's like maybe, you know, the studios approach them, but maybe it starts opening doors for them to be like, we can make a lot of money off of this stuff. And then when they start making games, they start intentionally making them differently than they did before with the goal of selling a movie or an anime or whatever. And it changes the way those games get made. So I can see why you might be concerned that.
Yeah, and I just have like a suspicion too, like that typically these guys that have a lot of control, like and that are very artistic, like Miyazaki, if stuff starts happening, a lot of stuff that he doesn't like, who's to say like he leaves or something, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like what's his face?
Like Kojima.
Kojima, yeah.
God, that drives me insane. I honestly feel like that fifth Metal Gear Solid game was going to be the best one. You can see, you can literally see the point where he stopped working on
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that is one of the craziest moments in that I've ever played in any of those games. Like that final section where he worked on the game. Dude, it was insane. That part. And then immediately after that part, you just start doing missions that you've already done. They're just a little harder. And you're like, oh, this is where he stopped working on
Yeah.
it. Okay, got it.
We're recycling
Great.
material now.
Yeah, this is the exact moment where he stopped working on this game. Cool.
Yeah, and I mean, you see stuff like that happen with like I don't even want to bring up Dragon Age, but like and it's not even
I mean, they lost a lot of their team, right?
yeah, they just like fired so many or they quit. A lot of them quit because of like the overreach of EA onto the BioWare team. They kept trying to pressure them to make it a multiplayer game, and those games just aren't really built for that. Um, and then you end up with games like Veilguard, which I don't think Veilguard is nearly as bad as people make it out to be, but like it took over 10 years to come out, and it could have been so much better. But so many of the original creators and writers have been either fired or quit. And then even after they finished writing Veilguard, they fired a bunch of more people. So it's like it becomes so corporate that like the game loses a lot of heart. Some of the romances were even added in at last second. Um
That's what I was going to say. Most of what I remember is the romance of me getting completely fucked. That's what I mostly remember.
Cassandra's a tough
That was
cookie to crack.
that was crazy. No, that's not tough. That's insane. I was working on her for so long.
One of the ones
For so long.
that really stands out to me, and it's like because so much stuff got added in after they'd already like voiced the game and stuff, like it was just a clusterfuck. But like there's a war table mission, like if you play as a Dalish elf, there's a war table mission where if you do the wrong thing, your whole clan can get completely killed. And somehow all the other times that I had played, because I always play as a Dalish elf, I hadn't chosen the wrong thing, so my clan had always been fine. But in my most recent playthrough, when I played, my whole clan got wiped out, and no one says shit to you about it. It's not acknowledged at all. And like your whole family line, extended family, everything gets fucking murdered, and it's not even mentioned in the DLC, The Trespasser, which is like really the end of the game. It gets brought up at one point because that got recorded after whatever, but they added that war table mission in after they had recorded the game. So it's like, why even put that in there? Because it's going to be such a letdown when there's like no reaction to it whatsoever. So it's kind of silly.
Do you remember what happened with me and Cassandra?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
You remember
I
that?
remember.
That still pisses me off. That still really pisses me off. That was my first trouble with love. The first
I think
game.
what's funny about it too is that like that was the first time you played a game where you had to like romance a character,
That's what I'm saying.
and you were like,
and I got
"Oh,
into
actually, this is fun." And then, yeah, and it just didn't go.
I mean, I know what happened is like I was making the right decisions, but you get a lot of like love points or whatever the fuck they're called for like having them in the party. And I thought Iron Bull was cooler, so I had him in the party instead of her. You know what I mean? That was like my melee DPS
Maybe
slot.
you should have romanced Iron Bull.
I was not looking to romance Iron Bull. So it was particularly hard to romance her because she wasn't in the party. I wasn't getting like passive points from us existing together. And then like there just came a point where I was getting close to the end and I was like, this isn't happening. So then I was like, I'm gonna move on. I need to find something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be the only asshole out here not fucking. You know what I mean? I refuse to have that happen. So then I move on and then I talk to her and then the dialogue it's like it has some broken heart. And I'm like, what broken heart dialogue? What do you mean we're calling it off? What do you mean calling it off? What's it, Cassandra? You've been cock blocking me this whole fucking game. And now I didn't even know we were a thing and we've never done anything. You've never said anything nice to me. And now since I've talked to one other girl one time, we get a broken heart like dialogue option? That's crazy. That still drives me insane. So yeah, I got fucked on that one. I got fucked on the Carlac one. Not going to go into that right now. That one still hurts.
Wind is too fresh. We got to play again.
Yeah, I know. We got to play it again. I know you've played it a fuck ton. I feel like I played it so much when it was like just the first act, early access.
Yeah.
So I felt pretty good with my playthrough, but I should play it again.
Oh, the game's a lot different now.
Yeah, I know. There's been like, what, 8 big patches?
Yeah, the last one just came out, so there's not going to be any more big major patches that change anything else in the game.
I could finally make it happen with Carlac.
You could finally make it happen with Carlac, and I'll make you actually take long rests, because that's how you progress the story.
That was fun, though. It was fun taking as few as possible. It was fun doing like a whole act with like 1 to 2. Like that was fun.
But that's where all the story is, though, is in the long rests. Or not all the story,
I
obviously,
know. It was
but
just
a lot of it.
It was fun. Look, I enjoyed it, but I did it, and there was no benefit to it, so I got it out of my system. You know what I mean? I'm cool with taking rest now.
Yeah.
I was like, how much healing can I get? How much horse shit can I get to where I can maximize my rests and do as few as possible? I was trying to play it like I was in the situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they
like
do. They do kind of act like you're on a time crunch. So
like you're super time gated, yeah. So like I was playing, and that's how I like playing games in general. I try and really immerse myself. So I was playing it as if it mattered. I thought it might matter. I thought it might not. But I was playing it as if what they were saying was true. And like that's kind of the way that I play all the Dark Souls games too, is I try and play with as few deaths as possible in my first run. Cause like that's just fun for me, you know?
yeah.
Like what can I game the most with knowing nothing? Like how can I give myself the most advantages with just like looking around in the world and making decisions? Like I enjoy that shit. So like I kind of like that style.
Yeah.
But yeah. Just didn't work out.
Speaking of triumphs and failures, like Veilguard and Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, like the opposites.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
the
know.
big thing to me about Veilguard was how much they cut out of previous playthroughs when that is such a huge draw for Dragon Age games, is like that your world state carries over, and in this game it just didn't really matter. Like, I think that they did a good job of not having conflict with the fact that they don't know what your world state is really. I did like that I got to meet my Inquisitor. But yeah, I just feel like they should have added a little bit more of the decisions made in previous games. Even if they cut some of them, I understand, like, not every little decision needs to get carried over. But I do think it should have been more. But I think, again, part of the reason so much of that got cut is because they were sort of on a time crunch. Because, again, it was like another 10 years between games. And they had already, like, scrapped this game and started it over twice. The lead developers kept leaving or getting fired. Like, it was just a clusterfuck. And then they act sad that the game didn't do well. And it's like, well, the overarching company is not respecting what the heart and soul of these games are. Like, they're just trying to make it about money, but like, you have to respect the players and what they want from these games. Like, to some extent, Dragon Age players are never going to be happy because they still refer to Dragon Age Origins as turn-based, and it fucking wasn't. And they, like, still think we should go back to that, even though I think the combat in Origins is actually ass.
Real time with pause?
Veilguard is real time with pause.
Yeah, real time with pause. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, but like Dragon Age,
I did. That shit drives me crazy. Those people, I'm talking to all of you rat fucks, all of you guys that like turn based or real time with pause. I cannot stand you people. Okay. That shit drives me insane. The only reason why they made that shit was because it was easier to make. It wasn't some fucking like grandiose decision. You know what I mean? Like, they act like it's like something they intended to do and wanted to do. It was just like an easy way for you to traverse the world and not be moving around with boxes, right? Like Baldur's Gate 3 circumvented that by moving around. Once you hit initiative, you go in boxes.
Yeah.
But like, it was just like, so, but they act like it's just the law and it's just the way to make these games.
That's not even...
And be like, well, whenever you want to pause, just pause and then it's turn-based. No, it's not the fucking same thing.
It's not.
I don't want to fucking hit pause every fucking second. I just want to make a decision, and I don't even take a long time to make decisions. I just like see the decision, make the decision. But like, I don't want to constantly manage all that shit. Like, I don't like playing fucking RTSs. I don't want to play an RTS with pause. I would just rather play a turn-based game.
Dragon Age Origins isn't even real time with pause, and it's not turn-based either. So I don't know why so many... all I can think is that they've just like sensationalized this game in their mind and haven't actually replayed it in a long time and don't even remember what the hell they're talking about. But like, Dragon Age Origins played more almost like World of Warcraft, where like your abilities just have cooldowns.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with you. I don't think the combat was good in that game. I played it a few years late. Like, I just like got it on Steam for cheap, and I don't know, maybe it was like 5-6 years after it actually came out.
It was longer than that.
Something like that. I don't know, something like that. And like, I tried to play it, and like, I think I had PTSD flashbacks from Goofy and Donald just like fucking my ass in Kingdom Hearts, where they were just like literally the most brain dead assistants ever. And I just got flashbacks of playing that Dragon Age Origins for like 2 hours of being like, my teammates are literal garbage and I do not want to micro them every second. I would if it's turn-based, but I don't want to fucking micro them. I don't want to pause every 2 goddamn seconds. Can they just make solid decisions?
Yeah, so like...
And they did not.
So the thing with Dragon Age Origins that was supposed to be fun is that you can like sort of like code the AI for your companions however you want to. But I never really wanted to do that. Like, for me, a big part of the draw for Dragon Age Origins is the story. Like, so a lot of times, whenever I replay that game, I just play it on easy. And
hey, if it's real time, how about you code them, you motherfuckers? Why am I doing their job for them?
Yeah, so your companions can play how you want them to or whatever. I don't know.
Just have them play not like idiots. If you wanted them to have like 3 modes, aggressive, defensive, or supportive, that's fine. But just like... Can you just do that?
And like,
can you make those?
And my defense of Veilguard is that it is just a continued evolution of the same gameplay that Dragon Age has always had. Like, 2 improved upon the gameplay from 1. Inquisition was even better than that. I really like Inquisition. And then Veilguard is very actiony, but you do have... You know, you can do this like pseudo pause where you queue up your companion's abilities.
The game looked fine. Like, I'll probably play it eventually, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I think my biggest problem, and I don't want to sound like a fucking deviant, right? I wasn't interested in fucking anyone.
Okay, well, you do sound a little like a deviant.
Is that fair though? Is that not a big aspect of the game, the romance?
Yeah, but I mean, Nev is hot, so I don't want...
Which one's Nev? I did not think Nev was hot. She was hot sometimes. You showed me a couple screenshots where she was hot, but other times she has like the dumbest hat on existence. Like, she was paying somebody to make just completely absurd hats for her.
She does wear dumb hats.
And she's like,
but you can change her outfits.
I'm a 10, but I've got this dumb hat on.
You could change
I don't
want to do...
I don't... I couldn't help it. I could only see the hat. The hat was the only thing I could see.
I thought I was like dead set on romancing Lucanus when I started the game, and then I ended up going for
Yeah, I know.
Dofrin and never looking back.
I'm just saying I wasn't super enthused about banging anyone. And it's if the romance is a big part of the game, then you got to make some bangables. Is that not fair?
I mean, this is a very like first world problems kind of situation. I think,
Well, yeah, but it's like I'm choosing to play the game. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I'm not a giant fan. Obviously, if I was a giant fan of Dragon Age, I would have played it. But I'm like a fair weather fan of that franchise. So you gotta sweeten the deal a little bit for me. I'm not automatically in. Didn't instantaneously in Expedition 33 were we not both on Lune's ass
I mean,
instantly?
yeah,
Yeah, I was instantly in, and I liked the other girl too. I liked CL. She was hot. She was cool. Like they were both yeses, but like instantaneously, I was like, "Yep, okay, yeah, we got it." She's the harder one to romance. That's fine. Don't care. And she was cool too. I actually liked both of them as characters.
yeah, they're both good characters.
But like, yeah, I don't know. The Dragon Age cast, it's like I just wasn't feeling it, man. I feel like the hottest chick was like the dwarf, but then it's like it's kind of weird because she's like 3 feet tall. You know what I mean? Or like 4 feet tall. It's like you know what I'm
Harding,
saying? Like she's cute, but yeah, Harding, but she's like cute, but it's like it's a little fucking weird, you know?
I mean, I think what's her name is cute too.
The Asian chick.
Yeah, the elf, but she's
Yeah,
very
she
like
was cute. She was just like over the
she's
top.
pretty bubbly, but she does have like tragic anime backstory once you like get into her
Yeah, I
story
mean,
and stuff.
maybe she wasn't like that in the actual game, but like in all the
Yeah,
trailers they showed, she was just like absurdly
she's
like
not so she's not
energetic.
so
You know
she
what I mean?
is the most energetic, I would say, but she's not so over the top, like almost like a caricature of like bubbliness. She's not quite like that in the game all the time.
Is it Lune or Lune?
I think it's Lune. I
Is it?
think so.
I don't. They said her name so many times, but you just like read it and you aren't sure,
I think they said
and
Lune.
then it's just gone instantly.
Yeah, I think they said Lune.
I liked that attitude a little more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, most of the time, I think it was like a mantra when we were playing where we are like, I'm with Lune on most things.
Oh yeah, her decision making in
Yeah,
general.
she's like the
Yeah,
most
yeah, I
level
think so.
headed.
Yeah, I think it was only like once. I don't remember the situation where we just weren't with her.
There was one time
But
where we're like, I don't know about that fam, but like every other
yeah,
time.
yeah, we were
But
on her
even the one
team.
time we disagreed with her, we were still like, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, it like fell in line with her character. It wasn't
Yeah.
like odd. I don't remember what it was though, but there was one time.
Well,
I feel like that was it. That was everything we want to talk
yeah, I was
about.
about to say, I think we have like an hour and 40 minutes of recording at this point, so.
You have any more shit to talk?
Nope, not until I finish Veilguard.
You do understand that Drizzle would be a great name, right?
You're fucking ridiculous.
You're gonna sit here and lie to me, say it's
It's
not.
not.
You really think so?
I really think so.
It's crazy.
You're crazy.
I don't know. Yeah, let's just call it here. Who cares?
Okay.